This brings us to the concept of, how much of this is instinct and how much of it is learned.
Mhm.
Presumably there's some amount of both, but a lot of this is probably pretty instinctive because when the mothers have their first litter, they do all these things. The mice aren't going to, maternal care classes or, calling up their grandma and asking her how to do things. How much of this maternal care behavior is instinctive? How much of it is learned? And how do we start to study that in the lab?
The way I like to describe it is I think about capacity for care as innate, but the caregiving behaviors themselves have to be turned on. And so I imagine that, the sort of circuitry is there. We know that this from research that the circuitry is there. The circuitry is highly conserved in males and in females and across species. And yet, whether or not caregiving behavior will occur depends oftentimes on hormone context, social experience, variability across species.
It's not necessarily turning on all of the maternal care behaviors wholesale. It's just making her more sensitive to inputs or increasing or decreasing certain behavioral tendencies she might have that are then further refined by experience. But then as she actually has experience with actual pups after they're born, she does get better at doing those things. That was what was supposed to happen. So the sensitivity to certain stimuli, the tendency to engage in certain behaviors is what's being switched on, if you will, by hormonal signals. But that's not sufficient on its own. You need experience to actually refine the behavior.